So this is a video of a lot of the diving we were doing in Grenada. There's a lot of really legit reefs right off the shore, and the water was like being in a bathtub. It was a really fun time. There was you just go out there swimming and you'd see all kinds of different livestock. There'd be rays and eels and puffer fish. We'd see nurse sharks sometimes. Um, it was really good. Grenada's got a lot of sand everywhere, lots of world class beaches, and so generally the sand kicks up a lot of sediment into the water, so you don't get crystal clear water like you do in some places. But it's just the way it goes. Can't have it all. Generally you'd end up you climb in the water, and you'd have to swim a ways most of the time, and often you'd have to dive down to really get down to see anything. There was reefs in shallow water though. Like there was shallow water stuff, but to see everything, you'd have to go out in deeper water to really get down and get a look at it. Um, yeah. This is kind of a spot where the reef sort of goes into the sand on the edge. The water wasn't super deep here. It's pretty close to shore. You didn't always see a lot of stuff. Lots like the fish kind of hide in crevices, and if it was really had a lot of surf, you wouldn't always see corals growing there. It just depended on the situation. You got out a little bit deeper. This was kind of one of my there's a bicolored damselfish. Those guys are hilarious. They just eat phytoplankton out of the water column. Basically, it's little critters and really small critters that float around in the water. You don't really see them yourself. That's macroalgae off to the left. It's just a type of algae that sort of looks like a plant. That's a red sponge behind it. And then right in front, there's a feather duster. That's a type of worm. And you see his tentacles coming out of his tube. Oh yeah, my camera fell over and I had to go down and get it. I just thought it was kind of fun, the silhouette. I'd say this water is about 20 feet deep, probably. With enough practice, you start to get really good at holding your breath. Oh, here's a ray. This is the only time I saw a ray in Grenada. And the water was really clear on this day, and then I was just kind of swimming out to my sort of usual spot I like to go to, and there's this ray just right there. And I had my camera with me, so I got a shot of him. That was the first time I'd seen a ray. Yeah. One of the problems with free diving is you have to hold your breath, and so you can generally hold your breath pretty good until you have to swim around, for me anyways. And once I was swimming after this ray, I started feeling like I was suffocating almost immediately, so I couldn't really stick with them very well. Scuba diving's definitely got its advantages for getting good film, because you can fool around and really put effort in trying to get good shots. Yeah, here's a little shot of the reef, kind of pretty rocky looking. That's a big sponge right in front, and then there's a sea fan off to the right of it. And then those tall tube things, those are sponges as well. Yeah, well, there's Amanda showing off. Look how good she's diving. Yeah. It's so neat that you could just like wake up in the morning and then just go look at this stuff. That's a school of brown chromis, and there's bicolored damsels in there, and there's juvenile blue-headed wrasses as well. Yeah, that's kind of a nice shot. You sort of get a good idea what it's like. Just sort of big boulders of either volcanic rock or like maybe years and years of reef formation. Yeah. Here's a pair of butterfly fish. These guys, they pair off. They're fairly common. You see them often. They're quite nice. People keep them in aquariums, these ones too. Oh, fish got startled. Yeah. There'd be those brown chromis, the little silver ones you see swimming around. They'd be in these huge schools. And they would like just kind of be in the water column. And when you got into deeper water, you could just sort of dive into the school. And if you sort of had your buoyancy neutral and you just floated there, they would just come swim right up to your face. They didn't really care that much. It was really neat. Yeah. Yeah, so that red thing on the to the right, that's a sponge, and then the one in the middle is a type of gorgonian. It's sort of like a sea. They call them sea whips. And then the one to the left is another type of sea whip, but they're different species. The material they're made of is similar to they're a type of coral, and the material is sort of like fingernail. It's like stiff. It's hard, but not like rock. And there's a oops, and there's a school of surgeonfish going by. Surgeonfish, they basically just eat algae, and they're like herbivores, kind of like the cattle of the reef. Let's try this is my attempt at being a photographer. Right in the middle, do you see that little spiny fish? That's a lionfish, a juvenile lionfish. They're endemic to the Indian Ocean. Scientists aren't really sure exactly how they got all the way around to the Caribbean, but anyways, they're considered a pest. They're really great predators, and their spines are poisonous. So in Florida, there's always lionfish derbies where you can basically just kill them without remorse. But you see lots of them in Grenada because they're not doing it down there. Yeah, so this is the end. This is that's where that picture was taken from. There's the beach, and that's the outside edge of the reef where I would go. That water's probably 25, maybe 30 feet deep. It was about as deep as I was able to go at the time. I had aspirations of being able to go deeper, but that was about my limit at that point. So I went down, got the camera down there, and then had to surface immediately, basically, because it takes like 40 seconds to get down. So you have to have a pretty good breath hold to be able to pull it off. But yeah, that's it. So this was video from a really clear water day that we had, and it was a really fun time. This is basically what we did a lot of while we were there. So it was a really fun time. Yeah, I guess that's all I got. So yeah, if you have any comments or concerns, let me know, and I'll try to address it.